Well, hello there, humans, species, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it to, welcome back to the channel. This is the most important PUBG mobile video you're probably going to watch all year. And this is really, really important. We need to talk a lot about this. And you need to spread the word about this because this has to somehow be fixed. I'll give you some background on this video. Basically, I've done a lot of work on the analytical side of the game, the rate of fire, the damage numbers, all that kind of thing. And one of my standing claims has been that all the 5.56 ARs have the same rate of fire. One of the guys on Reddit who also does some YouTube videos, Fankish, he said that that's not true, and he did some testing and said this is incorrect. Look, this is the rate of fire on the guns, and it changes. I said that's crazy, that's nuts, and I did the testing again and showed everyone, and it was empirical and it was great. We were both wrong. The guns do all have the same rate of fire. I was right. That rate of fire is not the same. He was right. Let's get to this. This is really, really important. I'm going to show you some footage now. And basically, the premise here is that older devices who have less processing power and worse graphics chips are at a huge disadvantage versus newer devices. I'm going to show you the numbers right now, and then I'm going to come and talk to you about it. Now, the first thing we had to do was get a baseline going on. So I got a whole bunch of different devices and I tested them. Now, these are devices that can run the game at both 60 frames per second and are great devices like my iPad Pro 12.9, and devices that just absolutely sucked like the original iPad Air Generation 1 and run the game at a very low frames per second. Now, you've got to remember the original theory here was to make sure that all the 5.56 ARs fired at the same rate. So we benchmarked this, or I benchmarked this. I grabbed all the 5.56 ARs I could get my hands on and got other people to do it on their devices, and we came up that they all had the same rate of fire. You can see 2.88 seconds was the number we got for all these guns firing. QBZ95, Scar M416, G36C, whatever. And the key there is that it's all 60 frames per second. And 60 frames per second is your maximum rate of fire. So to test out the 5.56 ARs all firing at the same time, we take those 60 frames per second devices that I've already got, firing at the same rate, and put them up against Fankish's devices, firing at 60 frames per second. And voila, they all came up the same. But I wasn't interested in winning an argument. I was interested in getting it right. And Fankish had some video that really perplexed me because it looked like his rate of fire was different. And that's where things got crazy. This is Fankish's 25 frame per second Samsung A5 firing off the same guns, and the 5.56 ARs having the rate of fire that's the same here is obvious, but it took 4.65 seconds. Versus when he was running at 60 frames per second. This clip you just saw where it took 3.88, 3.9 seconds, which is a huge issue. Houston, we have a problem. And I tested this all different styles of Android versus iOS, phone versus tablet, everything like that. And the key thing was here, if you could run the game at 60 frames per second, you get more damage. Watch this. So this is an iPad Air first generation on the right and my iPad Pro 12.9 on the left, firing against each other in slow motion. And you are going to see something absolutely insane here. The iPad Air is going to have, and I'm going to wait till when I get to 0 on the left-hand side there, the iPad Air still has 6 shots left in a 30-round AKM clip. I've finished 30 rounds on the AKM on the left, and the iPad Air is running at like 17, 18, 20 frames a second on the right, and it has 6 shots left. Okay, so I think it's pretty conclusive here. We've tried it across multiple different gun styles. We've tried it across many, many different devices, and the numbers say, I've crunched them, they say if you have 60 frames per second, you have a huge advantage over someone with lower frames per second. And this is important because let me give you a scenario. You're a squad, you're coming into a final circle, you're in a UAZ, and there is someone in a compound in the middle of that final circle in a window. You get someone knocked out of your car, you all pull up, and that person that knocks someone out of the car is me, for instance, running an iPad Pro 12.9. You're running an iPad Air original device. I blow your car up. So you've got smoke around you as I try to knock your mates and all that. You've got a car that's been blown up in front of you and flames coming out of it. And your FPS is in the pooper. You cannot get good frames per second. There are 4 different people around you. There's a blue zone all over the place. You're getting it like 17 frames per second. And then we both lean out and try and shoot each other at the same time. Oh, ding, ding, ding. What's in the box, baby? That means that you are running at about 116 0.116 seconds for every round you fire. I am running at 0.096. If we're both wearing level 2 vests and we both start firing at exactly the same time, it will take me 0.465 seconds to clear me. It will take me 0.38 seconds to clear you. That's nearly a full tenth of a second difference, which in this game is a massive amount. You're talking about a 22% difference in time to kill. And that is where the rubber meets the road. And that's just with an M416. With a gun like the AKM, that is even worse. It seems that the slower your frames per second, the worse your issues are going to be. Now, I do a lot of this kind of stuff on channel. And if you haven't watched me before, we do tactical things, but we also look deep inside the game itself for advantages and disadvantages that can be exploited. And this is a huge one. The better device you have, the more likely you are to be able to deal with CQC situations. And this is one of the reasons why I think a lot of people are going to be really freaked out by this. And you need to start running things with as sparse an array as possible. You'll see that most of the pro players will run extreme frames and smooth for their graphics settings, because that is the best possible frames per second. You definitely need to be doing that. That is an absolute 100% non-starter. If you're not doing that, you are going to be losing damage in extreme situations. And the reason I've not been able to test this before is because I don't have a device that will run at lower frames per second. Like my iPad Pro 12.9 will just churn out frames, even when I'm in extreme situations. Now, I have thebushka.com. That is my website. I have all the real PUBG Mobile numbers. I'm still updating that for the last patch with the new SMG numbers and the new baselines. But if you want the spreadsheet itself, that's on my Discord server, the link to which is below. Don't forget, Fankish's YouTube channel is in the link for that channel is in the description. If you want to see someone who deserves a bit of credit for not being contrarian so much, but just double checking and testing and creating some question marks around the, the ideas and the concepts, which is how we advance. This is how we learn and how we get better, by questioning and asking those things. Then, go and check him out and give him a like and a sub, because, I think he really deserves that. He's the catalyst for this kind of info. Thank you so much, everyone. Look after yourselves. And as always, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.